here. So yeah, we're good like that. We're giddy. Any good news? Not particularly. I think I'm just happy that I'm alive and well. What about you? You have something great you want to share with me? It'd be great. You can send me a WhatsApp message. I don't know. Something you've been waiting on for a long time and they finally just signed it. Or the deal just clicked. Take me out, so share this money. Let it go around, I beg. You can't be stingy. But congratulations to you. And for those who are still on the queue, don't worry. Your day will come. Your day will definitely come. All right, so just hold on. Be strong. Be good. All right, so on the show today, as usual, I'll give you a rundown of what we'll be doing from now until 7, because I'll be with you from now until 7 p.m. So that's, an hour 48 minutes to go. I'm bad like that. Mathematics. It's 5:12, so do the math. Okay. All right. Between now and 5:30, I'll be telling you interesting information interesting things about the 10th day of the 5th month. Generally, I wanted to say of 2023, but it's not just going to be about this year. It's going to be general, like panning across what we're celebrating today internationally or even locally. And of course, today in history, starting from things that are happening around Africa. I'm particularly, emotional when it comes to African information. So you have to stay with me on that one. Nelson Mandela was inaugurated as the president of South Africa on this day in 1994. 10:05, 1994, Nelson Mandela officially became president of South Africa. The whole effort to end apartheid. It led to his imprisonment. He was imprisoned for a pretty long time, from 1962 all the way to 1990. And it earned him a share, of the 1993 Nobel Peace Prize. Became president of South Africa on this day in 1994. But that's just one of the things I'll be bringing you up to speed with. A lot more information coming your way. Did you know that it's actually No Dirty Dishes Day today? So you have to keep your sinks happy. You have to keep it clean. You have to say no to dirty dishes. Today should not be one of those days you return from work and you just eat and just abandon it in the sink. Be like, okay, I'm going to take care of you tomorrow. It has to be done. Do your dishes today, please. Please and please. And more. I'll be telling you more about them between now and 5:30. And then at 5:30, we're switching things up. What's happening around Nigeria? We're hearing petitions from different quarters. Oh, yes, if you're keeping up, of course, if you're following the Election Petition Tribunal, you may have heard that Labour Party and Peter Obi, they've made moves asking the courts to televise the proceedings in court. That's when the hearing proper starts. It's been pre-hearing so far. So will they or will they not? To be or not to be? Hamlet situation. Let's see. Fingers crossed. The court has not said what their decision would be yet. So we'll be following up on that story as well. As it is hot, we'll be dropping all of them for you. But yes, you can't know yet, right? You can't know until it is done. President-elect is not in the country right now. He has had to travel. Different reports from different quarters. Some say, he's on medical grounds. Some say, he's gone to have meetings with investors and everything. But don't worry, stay with me. I'll be telling you more, okay? And this thing about NBC, our people, National Broadcasting Commission. You just they find somebody 5 million, they find another station 2 million. Hey, it's 10 million. Or in fact, they could even move sometimes as some particular person being not allowed to be on air for a particular period of time. There's been a court ruling that said NBC has no powers to find broadcast stations. When I saw the story, I was like, is this a good move? Is this not the moment we'll now start hearing things on radio, like things they're not even supposed to hear? Because nobody is even regulating anymore. They said the powers don't lie with NBC, it lies with a different body altogether. You want to know what? Stay with me, I'll be telling you all of that. And what else? Benny, the story is plenty. So I'll just tell you to stay with me, okay? I'll take a break. A very, very, very quick one. And when I come back, we'll be getting into it proper. It is Super Citizen at Sunset on Citizen FM 93.7. And I am Didi.
Hello, Abuja. You are listening to 93.7 Citizen FM, the latest radio station based in Nigeria's capital. Let's celebrate the African people, rich cultures across borders, the languages, good food, and wealth of excellence on African Vibes. Exclusive on Citizen FM 93.7 Abuja.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Super Citizen at Sunset on Citizen FM 93.7. This is the fun-packed radio show you heard about.
That's the time, so let's get started. Today in history, what are some interesting events that happened on this day in history? Again, it's the 10th day of May, so it's just important that you don't forget. Okay, so on this day in history, in 1994, we start with that story because that is one very African defining moment when Nelson Mandela became president officially of South Africa. And I did tell you about it just a bit. You know, we cannot even talk about the end of apartheid in South Africa without mentioning Nelson Mandela. That's you just being rude. And it's not fair. It's not right that you be rude. So yes, his efforts led to the end of apartheid. But of course, he didn't fight alone. There are other people who contributed their quota to the end of apartheid in the country through music, through politics. Some people even died in the struggle. But yes, we do know that when you talk about the end of apartheid, the beginning of a proper, so to say, proper government in South Africa, you would have to mention the great Nelson Mandela and his long walk to freedom, pun intended. Anyway, so he was imprisoned in 1962, and he was in prison until 1990, the year 1960, the people's president. Okay, that was the way he was taken away, 1963. Then he came out in 1990. Remember the song Brenda Fassie? Maybe, just maybe, depends on how I feel, I may decide to play the song. Otherwise, hold body until further notice. Anyway, he won the Nobel Peace Prize, became president of South Africa on this day in 1994. But that's not all. Other interesting events that happened on this day in Egypt. So you don't forget, of course, Egypt is in North Africa. Whatever arguments they want to raise, oh, we're not Africa, we are part of what's it called? Eurasia. We're part of give me what's the name? Sorry. Yeah, the Arabic world. You know, there are arguments. Some countries up north, they have always argued that, so they're not African. They're not related to sub-Saharan Africa. You want to go read up history. You may have a clue as to why this passing of Nigerians through Egypt and all of that, the brotherliness is not as it should be. Yeah. So there were arguments. In fact, one time they even wanted to get out of Africa totally. Like, there was a lot of basketballs here and there, but somehow they had to remain because, come on, you're definitely Africans. Let's live with it. I don't know why they don't want to associate with us, the true breed. Please, it's joke. I don't mean what I said by true breed. Everyone is true breed. Okay, so Life magazine was banned in Egypt on this day after publishing an unflattering article about King Farouk. You know, they don't used to joke with these type of things up north. But by up north, I mean Northern Africa, like up north. Tunisia, Morocco, Egypt, Libya, I'm not sure. All right. So it was on this day that they got banned. Speaking of ban, wait, this day 1950. Did I call the year? All right, moving on now. In 1988, still on this day, New Nation and South newspapers also got banned. Mongani Ngema, he was born on this day in 1955. One of the greatest ever out of Africa. Celebrate him richly. It was on this day he was born. Some people, I just wonder if life had taken a different path. Like maybe they were not born. Would anything have changed? I think there was a trend on Twitter recently. Something related to what I'm talking about right now. The question was about what do you think would have changed if some things didn't happen? Some what if moments. Yes, what if not? Yeah, I think that was how they put it. What if not moments. And then someone say, oh, what if Albert Einstein was not sitting under that apple tree that day? Oh, what if something had not happened? In my head, I'm like, see, life always finds a way to right itself. Just somehow. It just happens every single time. You think, oh, if this thing had not happened in this manner, that would not have happened. Somehow, life would always find a way to right itself. All right, so that's about some of the interesting events that happened on this day in history. Should I mention just a few more from other parts of the world? Let it not be as if we're just about Africa. Let's go Irish, all right? Irish musician and human rights activist Bono, who was the lead singer of the popular rock band U2. He was born on this day in 1960. All right, I think that's about the interesting ones so far. I don't see anything interesting else. Okay, so let's move on. Interesting events around the world today. Notebook Day. Roses are blue. Okay, no, it's not roses that are blue. Violets are blue. So it goes, roses are red, violets are blue. National Notebook Day is here, and we're celebrating with you. So, for those who like to write, it's your day. Marvin! Are you listening right now and your name is Marvin? I know a Marvin whose birthday was yesterday. Hi, happy birthday. Of course, Narias, Marvin. But it's also your name, day, so happy Marvin Day. Again. Visit your relatives' day. Don't be scared. Go out. Visit them if you have transport. Okay? I just got some messages rolling now, so let me read them very quickly. Rain carry you go somewhere, ne? Didi, what happened yesterday? You were nowhere to be on air. You go Sudan. My dear. I want to tow that path with you. Like, just do a little bit of sarcasm. But I don't know if it's a safe time to crack jokes about the Sudan situation. I don't know. It's bad timing. So I'm gonna just leave it. I just say, I didn't go to Sudan. No, my brother was around. But thank God I'm here, right? And I hope you had a great. You've been having a great time listening to us. I missed you too. Small. Small, but cheers to you. Thank you for sending in your message or even noticing my absence. Sometimes people just get overwhelmed. They're like, okay. I wasn't even sure I didn't hear a voice, Jerry. But thank you. You rock. Love you loads. Alrighty, so let's get back into it now. Did I say, what's it called? Visit your relatives day? Yes, visit your relatives. Those around you. Don't have to spend transport. Whatever involves transport, please stay away from it, okay? We don't want to be playing rough play this period. It's hard. Money is hard to come by. Okay. If it's not hard for you, please go. Let it not be as if it's me that stopped you. But it's a day that is dedicated to spending time with your loved ones and cherishing family time, all right? You have people around who are family to you. Visit them today. What else do I have? Brock. Is your name Brock? Yeah, it's Brock, like B-R-O-C-K. You heard that name before? Maybe this will be the first time to, like, for me, I'm not sure I've heard this name before. Brock. Is it Brock or Brock? I like it though. Sounds refined. Sounds what's the word? It sounds you know when you're talking and you're rubbing your thumb on your 2 forefingers? Yes. That's the feeling I'm getting. It sounds very quintessential. Oh, yeah, I think that's the word I'm looking for. So, Brock, hi. It's good. Museum Day. It's International Museum Day. So it's an opportunity to support museum education and make everyone aware of the importance of museums. There's a reason why they exist. And it's not just to house things. It's, of course, to educate you about things that are past and just interesting things about history. For me now, you'll catch me. You'll catch me in places like museums. I love history, especially when it's African. I think I'm a little too African. Is there anything like being a little too African, though? I don't think there is. I'm just very comfortable being an African. Ascension Day. Oh, God. Oh, my God. Oh, boy. Okay, pardon me. No. That was not for today. Mother Ocean Day it is. Let me run through it very quickly now. Golf Day it is. National, not international. One day without shoes. I see some really weird stuff around here. You should leave me alone, please. Leave me alone. All right, 10:05. That's the date, not the time. Time is 5:27. Stay with me, Citizen FM 93.7. When I come back, it'll be time for News Run-Up. Yes. Of course, we have to begin from the top. President-elect is not around. It shouldn't be news, right? I mean, he sure traveled. Can we move on? He's gonna be back, at least in good time, for the swearing-in ceremony. But we remember again, right? We remember when he came back from his trip to Europe, right? They said, he was back and in good time to, be around, stay around for a bit until the inauguration and everything. But here we are, he's traveled again. But of course, he does have a right to travel. So everybody who's raising eyebrows, making a fuss of the fact that the president-elect has traveled, wonder, what do you want to do with it? What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do? He's traveled. Okay, why did he travel? As I mentioned earlier, some people are, no, he's traveled, held grounds because of where we're coming from, The outgoing administration saw how many trips the president saw. The president had to make based on medical grounds. But so far, so good. The argument from the camp of President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu is that his return to Europe, and it's all in an effort to fine-tune the transition plans and programs and his policy options with some of his key aides. And of course, you'll be having meetings with investors too, okay? In fact, there was a statement that was released from the office of the president-elect. It was signed by Tunde Rahman. He says the trip became necessary to allow Tinubu to carry out some tasks without unnecessary pressure and distractions. I'll read a part of it. He says, he will use the opportunity of the trip to fine-tune the transition plans and programs and his policy options with some of his key aides without unnecessary pressure and distractions. During the visit, the president-elect will engage with investors and other key allies with the goal of marketing investment opportunities in the country and his administration's readiness to enable a business-friendly climate through policies and regulations. That's what the statement says. You want to believe it? Great idea. You don't want to believe it, you want to make a fuss of it? Again, great idea. Whatever makes you sleep good at night. But yes, officially speaking, this is why the president-elect is out of the country. In fact, part of the statement reads, reviving the country's economy forms a major plank of Tinubu's renewed hope agenda, and the meeting is part of his efforts to re-establish Nigeria's importance in the global economic chain and to create empowering opportunities for the country's huge youth population. We move, okay? We move. Election Petition Tribunal, Presidential Election Petition Tribunal. That. So we know that the Labour Party and its presidential candidate, Peter Obi, they filed an application asking the proceedings of the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal be televised. Now, here is the thing about this argument. Some say it's a great idea. Let Nigerians know what happened. We don't want it hush-hush. Not like at the end of the day, they'll just tell us what the courts have decided and that's about it. We want to know every detail. We want to know every nitty-gritty. Who said what? Who objected? Whose objection was sustained? Whose was overruled? We want to know everything. Again, there are always two sides to a conversation, right? So, finding balance is going to be key because, of course, the thing, right, is there are concerns that perhaps, just perhaps, televising the proceedings may not be a great idea. We need to balance it. Remember, I said some say this is a great idea. So, yes, the argument is not invalid. The argument is valid. It's going to, encourage transparency. We see that. It's going to afford people to know what exactly is going on behind closed doors. Of course, that is, of course, on the condition that the court decides to honor that plea or that prayer by the Labour Party and its presidential candidate, Peter Obi. So for those who are saying otherwise, for those who think differently, who are of the opinion that this is not a great idea, this is their argument. This televising, by this I mean televising the proceedings may encourage overexcitedness in court. This means those who may have some serious arguments to make because they want to impress the public, the court of public opinion, they may just get a little too giddy and may go out of line. And that may not even favor the Labour Party as a party. Do you think so? I don't know. Just bringing you the different sides of their argument. Anyway, I need to give you the details very clearly. So this particular petition about praying the court to televise the proceedings follows a similar application by the presidential candidates of the People's Democratic Party. I read somewhere earlier, someone asked a question. He said, what if the People's Democratic Party wins the case against President-elect and the APC? Then Labour Party too also wins. What is going to happen? Where we were. It's going to be really interesting now, wouldn't it? Yeah, it will be interesting. Anyway, so in a related development, the tribunal adjourned the pre-hearing session on Obi, that's the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, and the Labour Party's petition until May 17. So that's in a week's time, in exactly 7 days' time. Now you visit Mendem in the village and they gave you 7 days. Exactly 7 days. So in about 7 days' time, we'll be hearing whether or not we'll be getting live transmission, televised proceedings of what's happening in court. Anyway, so that's the update on that. That's another story that we would have to keep our fingers crossed on and hope that we get to hear. Good story. Depends on where you're sitting, For some, hearing that it's not going to be televised will be great news. For some others, hearing that it will not be televised will also be great news. Whatever. I pray everyone finds rest and peace. 5:39 p.m. Let's see some other stories. There's this headline I saw and my heart broke. Like it really legit broke. Talking about how Nigeria... Okay, so the headline reads, how Nigerian scammed victims from 13 countries, $382,000. A witness is recounting. This is not good at all. Public image. When it comes to how much we're trying, how hard we're trying to ensure that we don't have these kind of stories stain us any further, especially on the international scene. You're going to think that people will be making more effort to not have us be portrayed in this light. But here we are, having reasons to come defend ourselves again. People who don't even have any business defending themselves would need to defend themselves. Like, oh, you're a Nigerian. Oh, Nigerians, just scammers. Oh, Nigerians, just scammers. Nigerians, just scammers. And the bad thing is, it's when the story is really bad. That's when you now see the true ID of individuals revealed. Not tell you Nigerian, African. But when it's great news, they'll start looking for how it is, related to people from other parts of the world. We shall overcome at the end of the day, right? But I really do hope that people who think that they have to scam to make a life or a living would actually stop. Because at the end of the day, it's not just a dent on you, it's a dent on every person from your place. Like now, Nigerian scammed victims from 13 countries. And it's not even small money, $382,000. A witness is recounting. Citizen FM 93.7, 5:41 p.m. I'll just take a few headlines and then take a break. When I come back, I'll be throwing the phone lines open. But in the meantime, you can send your messages to WhatsApp to us via 0818 22 22 205. That's one of the numbers you can send your message to. Again, 0818 22 22 205. Send your WhatsApp messages to that number and I will read them when the time is right. But for now, let me see some other headlines I can take and then take a break. So there's a flood situation looming. Remember that NEMA and even NIMET and some other agencies have tried to warn Nigeria and say, hey, we need to do better. See what happened in 2022 cannot hold a candle to what will happen in 2023 as it concerns flood in Nigeria. So, as a result of the warnings, the Niger Delta Development Commission has said that it will partner with the United Nations Satellite Center to find lasting solutions to the challenges of flooding, especially in the Niger Delta. You know, when we talk about NDDC, first thing that comes to mind should be Niger Delta. Anyway, the NDDC Managing Director, Dr. Samuel Ogboku, stated that this had become imperative following warnings that had come from different institutions. And in fact, there was a statement that was issued by the NDDC Director of Corporate Affairs, Dr. Bitoye Abosede in Port Harcourt today. All right. And part of it reads, we are open to partnership in finding a lasting solution to the perennial flood in our region. And as an interventionist agency, we're looking at solving the problems of the Niger Delta region permanently rather than treating the symptoms, which I think should be the conversation since 2 years ago. We should be having this conversation like since, but for whatever reason, it seems like we just decide to wait until it becomes a big problem. Then we begin to have the conversation again. And then when it dies down as a problem, then I'm like, oh, okay, well, everybody calm down. You can let your guards down. Go about your business. When it gets high again, we pick up pace and we begin to make a fuss of it. So I'm thinking that this is a great step in the right direction. And I hope that the desired result is gotten. Shout out to Mr. Lawrence Omoyete, who is in the studio here doing orchestra, director. I'm wondering what music he's hearing, but the Lord is my strength. I shall overcome. In fact, moving forward, I'll tell Fred specifically, there's only one camera when I'm doing my show. So moving forward, he would have to set up both cameras so he can capture you from that side whenever you come into the studio and I'm talking and you're doing as if nobody, like I'm making this story up. I have evidence. I will have evidence. So the thing is, he will now act like, no, it wasn't him at all. Make me sound like I'm mad, I'm crazy. And he'll just go like, no, it wasn't there. Fred, please, moving forward, you know what to do, right? Whenever you set up camera A, ensure you set up camera B, so that when he does the things he does, everybody can see. I have witnesses. He did that, was it last week or so, right? I think it was on Monday when I was talking about bullying. And he came into the studio, bullied me, but nobody heard his voice. So it felt like I was just making up the story. It shall never happen again. Amen? Amen. Citizen FM 93.7. That was just a detour. Thank you for staying with us. Yeah, once in a while, we'll just have to take a break. That was my break. All right, a few other headlines. I see your messages. Thank you very much for sending them through. Yes. Let me see. What can I find? I have to take a break now. I need to take like a commercial break. But before then, so there was a well, it was not a tea party per se, but there was a wedding in Kano State where tea was served. Tea, like shai, kawai. They just drank shai. And for whatever reason, 7 people died. Like they died. And a lot more of other people had to be hospitalized after drinking this tea. Now, the thing is, there were suspicions that the tea may have been prepared with a local leaf, popularly known as zakami, at a wedding in Kano State. The thing is, it was not intended to kill people, nope. But this zakami plant, or tree, or leaf, leaf basically, contains a psychoactive substance. One of the witnesses who was at the wedding, Sanusi Aya, He's actually the elder brother of the bride. He said the tea was suspected to be made with different types of drugs apart from the local leaf. It wasn't just about the leaf. But what is sad is that a couple of people had to lose their lives. Like die and never see you again. It's a sad situation. And not just that, some people are even in hospital. So what was supposed to be a time of celebration was supposed to be a moment of, oh, we're excited, our child is getting married, and all of that turned out to be really sad. It was a really sad day. 7 people dead just like that. So is that time? Stay with me, Citizen FM 93.7. I'll be back in a bit.
I say get out of my house. How we no get out? He go hard you. If you make a 10 slap on me, something go scatter in the walk on the hill, ram shingam nika do it. Me do it ga atavi.
Angbanev de yeren kwaya shingam pagachi. Do me sit my miongo hin ate utiv sha itioki Citizen FM 93.7. Radio kashin o wan Angbanev kwa ngwan kwa ma she henen kwa chi. Ama chotom ihemion danza akwa aha. Ate utichi kati wase sha itioki Citizen FM. Ate utichi tichi.
Hi, my name is Rita Ezenwa Okoro, the founder and lead visionary of Street Project Foundation. Join the Street Project Foundation ambassadors Fridays, 8:30 a.m. on Citizen FM 93.7. We will be addressing key social issues such as xenophobia, police brutality, religious intolerance, youth profiling, insecurity, and other social issues in our radio drama series titled Omo, This is Real Life. Remember, Fridays, 8:30 a.m. on Citizen FM 93.7.
It has just begun.
Check it out.
Rescan your dial. Now.
You found it.
You found it. Citizen 93.7 FM. Abuja. We are the best. To 93.7 Citizen FM. Based in Nigeria's capital.
Your number 1 radio station.
We have about 5 minutes to round off now on the show, on this segment. Yes, this segment. Because top of the hour, I'll be bringing you the comprehensive news bulletin. Do stay with us. Welcome back. So we have 5 minutes to go. Let me see some of those, messages I can read here. Didi. I saw that story earlier, and it's a really sad one. People came to celebrate her wedding, and they died. Yeah, they did. But there's a part of the story that you may have missed out. The one of the witnesses at the venue where this very sad incident occurred said some of the people who were even at the wedding were not invited. They just came around. But it's normal, right? You're going to see this kind of things happen a lot in Nigeria, where people, once you just hear about it, you just branch and be like, okay, yeah, let's have fun and all of that. And some of them are victims. Some people are in hospitals now. May the souls of the departed rest in peace. I'm sorry, I need to learn to pronounce your name. I see your message. She said, let's not have a repeat of what has happened in the past. May our president be able to stay with us. We need to be feeling his presence as a people. What happened in the past? You got to enlighten me on that one. Oh, God, please. Yes, thank you, though. Okay. 0818-2222-205. Sorry, 0818-2222-205. That's one of the numbers you can call. I have, 2 minutes to go? Maybe I could squeeze in a call. 0903-2229-797 or 0818-2222-206. I take... Pardon? Sorry, I'm trying to get this thing right. Okay. I think I got what they were trying to say. Hello?
Hello, good evening.
Good evening to you.
Yes, my name is Johnny. I'm calling from Ghana.
All right, Johnny, your radio is loud. Could you turn it down?
Okay, no. Let me reduce it.
All right.
Is it okay now?
Yes, it's great. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just trying to react to the last something you read. Somebody said that they would like their president to be near them, like a people. About what has happened in the past. Then they ask what has happened in the past. We all know what has happened in the past. We already started it this way. And here we are. And this one now, the case is in court, talking about inauguration. He rejected out to Europe, telling me he was going there to negotiate with investors. Which investor? I mean, they have fooled us. Haven't they fooled us enough? His stick is gone for medical treatment.
But we don't know. What's your source? How do you know categorically that is on medical grounds that he traveled?
Why did he not stay here and finish his court case?
Why did he what?
Why didn't he stay here and the first is the court case?
But he also...
Sometimes you media people tend to help these people.
You're not looking for how to blame us, Johnny. Okay?
I have to because you promote them.
We don't promote them. We only tell you...
We keep covering them.
No.
We keep covering how the jet. You can just jump in and move out anyhow.
No. This is not a case of trying to cover.
That's why he spent how many months abroad?
I get your point, yes.
Reeling us from God knows where.
I understand your point.
He has not even been sworn in, and look at it. See what you are doing. Now, talking of when it's inaugurated, I wonder what this country is going to be.
Okay, first of all, I understand your position, Mr. John, but we need to be clear. We're not trying to cover anybody up. We just have to tell you how it is. Our position on the matter is to bring you the information. So if a statement is released, it will be against the ethics of the job to go cook up a story from somewhere and say, oh, they did not release a statement. We need to tell you how it's dropping.
You people are afraid of MDC, right?
it's just the ethics of the job.
I don't pity you. I pity you guys as a matter of fact.
Chai.
I really do pity you guys. It's not easy. And the job you do, you're doing a wonderful job. But unfortunately, the system does not allow you to do your work. Anyway, so when you ask what happened in the past, you laugh because you knew what happened in the past.
Mr. John.
We all know.
I shall not be dragged into this. I refuse to.
No, we're not children in this country.
I understand. I get it. Thank you very much, Mr. John.
You're welcome and have a wonderful evening.
Yes, you too. See, let me just tell you something. The thing is, sometimes if you really want to go by how emotional you get when you hear some of the stories, you're going to bring down the roof. There is really no need. As I said earlier, what would you possibly do? There is absolutely nothing you can do right now. He's not in the country. And we hope for safe return, whether we like it or not. As we speak, as at this time, he is president-elect. Nothing changes that until we hear otherwise from court. And so far, so good. They've not said anything yet. So we'd just have to pray that whatever has taken him to Europe, he would, sort out. If the argument from his team is anything to go by, he is there to put finishing touches on the inauguration process and then, of course, see investors and restore Nigeria to the glory that it should be. That is the official statement. We cannot counter that until we have proof. Categoric, like legit, clear proof proof is very clear. Like maybe we have some doctor's report and say, hey, look at this. This doctor invited him over for 10th of May 2023 and he's not in the country, so he's definitely going to see this doctor. Otherwise, we cannot assume. The times when the outgoing president, that's Buhari, has had to travel on medical grounds, they have said it categorically that he traveled on medical grounds. Nobody beat anybody up. You cannot beat anybody. Do you understand? So we just have to take things easy. At the end of the day, we're gonna be all right. Salif Keita will be running it off for us on the segment. Africa is the song. Stay with us. Do not forget, I'll be back top of the hour with the news.